Quill Angler got started in 1988, and since then it's just been an interesting ride. I've learned a lot of things. We have a great staff, we have a good reputation. It's been a lot of fun.
Steve and I have been badgering Jim about getting a dog, and we were thinking about a retriever. Best of all, we have a great breeder right down the road here, and we'll just swap them out, a fly rod for a dog.
You know, I mean, a dog's a dog. You get these, genetically bred dogs, they got no personality. All they can do is sniff something out, and the last thing we want is for a dog to come up and hit somebody's crotch.
Jim just picks the most inopportune times to be cheap. He just wants to go down to the pound and get this dog.
Oh yeah, I think a good job for Chris. Chris, we call him the rookie. I'm gonna send him down to the shelter to pick out a dog. I don't care if this is a pit bull. As long as it's got a nice personality and it doesn't eat too much, we're gonna get this dog, bring it back here, and we're gonna be done with this trading fly rods for genetically bred Labradors.
One of the things that I really enjoy about winter fishing is solitude. You have the rivers all to yourself, and it's really one of the best times of the year to fish. I'm amazed how many people don't realize how good the fishing is during the winter months. It's one of my favorite times. The flows are low and clear, and the weather's not bad at all. You just bundle up in a few layers and get out and really enjoy trout country. I got a call from my buddies Trent and Eric, and they invited me to come up and spend a night at the lodge. One of the things that I really enjoy about the North Platte Lodge is it really caters to the fly fisherman. Best of all, I got a day planned with Trent to fish the North Platte. The trip's going to take us about 6 hours to get up there from the shop. It's just outside of Casper, Wyoming. Catherine, Trent's wife, does an absolutely wonderful job of being a host. Catherine's culinary skills are just mind-boggling to me. I enjoy the meals almost as much as I do the fishing. And then the accommodations are just remarkable. Everything feels like a home away from home. Everything has been done so well that I can't wait to get back to the lodge each year.
Hey Steve, we got the new shop dog.
What is that?
Brisk outside. Is it?
In the morning, Catherine puts out a great breakfast. Trust me, you won't leave this place hungry. It's a great time to prepare for the day, talk about your fishing strategies. It's great to go out the front door with a full stomach. Another beautiful thing is the North Platte is just right out the front door of the lodge.
The really fortunate thing about the area we're in, the North Platte Lodge has 3 tailwaters within striking distance. Longest drive, 40 minutes. That would be to the Miracle Mile, the other being Fremont Canyon, and the third being Gray Reef. Kind of our home water that sits right out of our front doorstep.
You like it at this flow, or?
I think I like the bigger water, the better. Gives these fish a lot more breathing room. It gives people on the river more breathing room.
It purges that spawning gravel, huh? I mean, it's got to be just great.
This river got reshaped after last year.
So you guys probably had excellent recruitment last year then.
We had really good, and if we keep this up, if they keep this high flow all through the spawn, we're going to have an unbelievably good year class.
The terminology recruitment is used a lot, and it basically refers to the natural reproduction of fish. Several year classes of fish on the North Platte, which makes it a unique fishery from the standpoint of they are all wild trout.
There he goes. That a babe.
Nice,
Nicely
big,
done.
thick-bodied fish right there. Boy, it's nice to be back. It's been way too long, Trent. Once you hook a fish in a boat, it's a little different than when you're walking in the streams. It really looks easy, but navigating that boat is a difficult job. You always know it's going to be a great day when you catch a fish right out of the gate. We hadn't floated more than about 300 yards, and I had a fish just drill that fly. It was just a great way to start the trip.
Gray Reef stretch of the North Platte River boasts a huge fish population. The largest part of that fish population being rainbows or cutbow hybrids. We do have a small population of both brown and Snake River cutthroat trout.
Oh yeah,
Great fish. My goodness, look at how thick those things are.
Gray Reef.
What a treat to guide on this river. I mean, you're on one of the best tailwaters in America.
It is a pretty special place.
A couple thousand trout per mile.
Somewhere in the neighborhood. I haven't gotten the new numbers, but that's where it's usually hovering, around a couple thousand.
In Wyoming, river bottom is the landowners. We lease roughly 17 miles of river exclusively for the access of our guests and our guides, which we feel improves the overall quality of your trip, your time spent on the river. Pretty much concentrating our efforts to the tail outs, the slow seams, the soft inside edges, with water temperatures, in the mid-30s, mid to high 30s. These fish are still fairly lethargic. They're shaking off kind of the winter's chill, and that's only going to get better as the spring progresses and as we move into summer.
A little slack, your friend here. You want to just keep those drifts going?
Feed it down as far as you feel comfortable with. I have a lot of fish that'll pick it up and out on the lower end of the drift.
So different than back home, these long line nymphing.
Maximize. More time in the water, the better.
To be successful on any big western river, you're going to have to become a proficient long line nympher. And long line basically refers to fishing more line, you're mending, you're extending your drifts, and you're covering those areas that drop off those transitional zones into the deeper water.
All right, pick it up and stick it out there a little further. You're right in the money. It's going to go to this big tail out and kind of this sweep to the right.
One of the beautiful things about float fishing is sections of the river that would be otherwise unfishable. The guide will put you into a position where you can catch more fish. And you don't have to be quite as good as a caster and quite as good as an angler because the guide is doing so much of the work for you. You have to be pretty good behind the oars to be able to accomplish that and get a person into the positions that you need to be when you're catching fish. Spring is always a great time to fish the Gray Reef. The fish are preparing to spawn, they're just feisty, they're really strong, and when they hit that thing, there is no doubt in your mind, that indicator it's a toilet flusher, it just disappears. Just another slab of bacon, big old thick bodied bow.
This stretch of the North Platte is literally a conveyor belt of food. And it shows in every one of these fish you catch, have it be a 10-inch fish or the standard Gray Reef size trout, which is 18 inches, all the way up to fish we see well above 30.
Appears to be a decent fish. Oh yeah.
Having a guide like Trent is invaluable. He knows the river inside and out. He knows the flies, he knows the rigging, he knows where to be at the right time. And he just makes everything seem so perfect when you're out there in the boat with him. I love carrying a camera because it's another part of the experience. I almost enjoy nailing the picture of a great fish as opposed to catching the fish, so it just kind of completes the circle for me with the photography.
Yep, sounds good. All right, we'll see you then.
I got the new shop dog.
What is that?
The pound said his name was Maurice Smith.
Maurice Smith? Wait till Pat hears that. Hey, Jim, your shop dog's here.
I don't know why Steve's so annoyed at me. Jim just asked me to get him a dog that didn't eat a lot.
I don't know what Chris was thinking. We send him to the pound. Jim asked him to get a dog for the shop. We like sporting dogs, not boutique dogs. What does he come back with? Boutique dog, named Maurice.
I saved the dog. He was on death row. He was going to take the big green needle. Old ladies kept getting him and bringing him back because he kept belching all the time. A belching dog. Okay, how cool is that?
The North Platte is born in northern Colorado, where it flows, oddly enough, due north into the state of Wyoming. It's a freestone section, a very productive freestone section of water before it enters Seminole Reservoir, one of many reservoirs. Between these reservoirs are tailwaters, which are some of the most productive in the country. A tailwater is a body of water which flows from a dam, or a river which flows from a dam. Springtime on the Gray Reef stretch of the North Platte typically means nymph fishing. Standard rig of 8 feet, indicator to split shot. A 3-fly rig. Small red worms, Baetis patterns, midge patterns.
Being guided is a real treat for me because I think you can always learn something from your colleagues. You know, when I'm out on the river, I'm kind of in charge, but when I have a guide guiding me, then I try to listen to him. Fly selection, tells me to set the hook, I set the hook. It's a complete role reversal. So the water's cold. They obviously don't want to get into the heavy riffled water, so we're fishing these slow seams. I'm still learning. It's something that every day you go to the river, you take away a little bit of knowledge. You may learn a new technique, or it's all about the experience. That's what fly fishing really is. It's the experience. Look at the colors on that fish. The ideal rod for fishing the North Platte is a 9-foot, 5-weight rod. Gives you the ability to fish nymphs, dries, or streamers. Allows you to fish a lot of weight, big heavy indicator. Gorgeous, that is.
I love my job.
Pretty as that comes right there. My goodness.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me?
You never really want to base your day on fish numbers, but numbers do equate to how well the river is fishing. Of course, we're all here because we want to catch fish, but if you don't take some time to look around, then you're missing part of the experience, and that's what it's really all about. It's being outdoors, and the two of us thoroughly enjoy spending a day on the river, and we have a ball. It just the day flies when we're out on the river. And for him to take one of his valuable days off and spend it with me, just a real treat.
Wintertime, early spring, late fall, they can fish extremely well. If you're prepared to deal with weather, you're going to have a successful trip. North Platte is absolutely user-friendly. It's a river where you can come as a beginner. There's no guarantees in fishing, obviously, but you can arrive here knowing that you're going to hook into some fish, and those fish are going to be good fish. They're going to be quality fish. And if you come as more of an intermediate or more of an experienced fisherman, we have things to offer towards those individuals as well. As far as style of fishing, you know, looking for heads rising on the bank, throwing a streamer. It's a river that caters to all types of anglers. The neat thing about fly fishing is, and especially fly fishing here, is we get a lot of gentlemen that come that, you know, they've grown up in and around spin fishing, different styles of fishing, not one of them being fly fishing. We can get a fly rod in your hand and have you catching fish before the day's end, which makes, I feel that it makes our river really special. It's always a great day on the water, without question, but it's a really great day, especially spending a day with a good friend like Pat. get him back in the boat today, get him catching fish, getting to talk, spend some time together. It's been a good day, and it's always a great thing to be with a professional like Pat, somebody who's so knowledgeable about fly fishing and about tailwaters. If you're ever heading out west and you're thinking about heading to Wyoming, you need to come fishing, and you need to come fishing at the North Platte Lodge.
I think the dog is perfect. Maurice is going to work fine. The great thing about it is he doesn't eat much, very little expense on this dog. Steve thinks that Maurice needs to be put on probation. He's not 100%.